but they can't change your words. If they change your words, we got a real problem.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's funny.
Did you ever see the documentary Icarus?
No, I haven't.
It's a really interesting documentary by this guy named Brian Fogel, and it's all about what happened was it was a very fortunate documentary in that he was making a documentary about one thing and it became about a different thing. He was making a documentary about a bike race. He was doing a bicycle race, and he was going to do it clean one year, and then he was going to get doped up on performance-enhancing drugs and do it the second year and see what the difference is. And he hired Gregory Rodchenkov, he was the head of Russian anti-doping at the time. And he was explaining to him what he was going to have to take and how to take it, this and that, along the way while they were doing this. So he filmed the first race, and then in the year leading up to the second race, the Sochi Olympic scandal happened. And Gregory Rodchenkov was a part of that, where he explained he had to leave the country. He escaped and came to America because he was being implicated in this whole scandal where they were taking the urine from the athletes. They were opening up these supposedly there was some container that couldn't be opened, but the Russians had figured out how to open it. They would take out the dirty urine and replace it with clean urine. So they doped up their entire team. And Gregory was explaining how they doped up the entire team, everyone except the figure skaters. They found that the figure skaters, when they doped up them, the fine motor skills, there was no benefit, and the females became too manly. But it's a fascinating documentary where it shows you the lengths that some countries will go to cheat. It's crazy.
No, it's unbelievable. And I think it goes back to that government control, a lot too. I think, just
for sure.
The coming, it's just
because they're a tool. The athletes are a tool.
They felt that sport shows your power.
Yes.
And that's the power of the country.
Yes.
Just how dominant you are. And so that it's crazy. So in fact, there was a movie that I was just in by chance about a little over a year ago. It's called The Last Champion. And it's by Glenn Withrow.
Is it a film or a documentary?
No, it's a film. It's an actual film, and it just got kind of, but it went. It's been on Google. It's been around, but it's a little bit. It's got a little bit of a. It's about a guy that was a champion wrestler, and they brought me in at the end just because somebody looked at the wrestling and they said it wasn't very good. And so they just said, "Can you come in and look and see what we can do to help the wrestling part of it?" So I flew out to, I don't remember where I flew out to, but I think it was Dallas actually. Actually, I flew into Dallas, and they shot it there, and at a high school or an auditorium, and I watched the wrestling, and it needed cleaned up, and so we cleaned up the wrestling. But then the guy, when I was there, he said, "Why don't we make this guy, because he got kicked out of the Olympics after he won them because steroids in America. And why don't we make him one of your kids? And you're doing the announcing, and you guys will meet again." And so it's a redemption story, and it's really good actually. And it's been out and a lot of people have really liked it. And he's in negotiation now to have overseas rights and all this kind of stuff.